Man, I just fought my way through mob after mob, just insane amount of mobs. And my reward is to change out this red sword for a yellow one. Hell yes! It's my birthday. It's my birthday. Whose birthday is it? It's my birthday.
It's just like, that's what excites me about gaming, like finding that next level. Like, what's it look like? Is it going to be a green jungle? Is it going to be a blue temple? I don't know. It could be the inside of a giant sandworm's rectum. Who knows? It's exciting to find out. Can't wait to get to the next level, you know? Or what enemies will I fight? Am I going to fight some ogres, some goblins? Am I going to take the next step up and fight some two-headed ogres? Or like, what rewards am I going to get? Am I going to get a Hadouken? Am I going to get like spread shot? Am I going to get icicles that fire out of my butthole? Might want some preparation H to go along with that, I don't know, but you know, kind of reminds me of this time that I was in kindergarten. You know, the teacher had this box of tissues, and it had like 5 different colors of tissues in it, and but in order to get to the next color of tissue, you had to pull out the previous colors of tissue. Well, I wanted to find out what the other colors of tissue were, so one day I just started pulling all those tissues out like a little bastard, and well, I found out what all those tissues were. I found out what all the colors were. But that's me, you know, like, I'm driven by curiosity. Like, I could go back to college and take like 100 different majors if only I had like the infinite money for life, right? It's the same thing in video games. Like, I want to see what all they have to offer. I just want to see what's next. I want to see what's next. I'm generally driven to see what's next. Maybe that's also part of the reason why I lose interest in a lot of games these days. I feel like that's something I say a lot these days. Games these days. Back in my day, I used to have to play games with only 2 buttons. In the snow, uphill. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, these days I feel like I always lose interest in games after a couple of hours. And I kind of have to wonder if it has something to do with the fact that a lot of games are trying to be gritty. So they're desaturated. And when a game is desaturated, it doesn't leave a lot of room for variety in level design. But I don't know. I also feel like it's not universal. I don't mean to say that it's just a game that's colorful will be compelling to me to want to keep playing. I mean, Candy Crush is colorful, but basically if you played 3 stages, it's all the same.
Well, I kind of ran out of time, but I do want to talk about how it's really not the same if every level is just a palette swap and all the enemies basically have the same 4 moves, and you know, it's really the challenge or the experience doesn't change from level to level. I mean, it could be as colorful as you want, and it really is not going to matter that much. It's one of the things like I really think is I feel like Illusion of Gaia is a good example of a good game that had variety and you got different abilities and it changed the way that you fight different mobs. And Mega Man, even though it's not a role-playing game, which I normally talk about role-playing games, is a superb example of a game where you get different abilities and you know, it changes the way that you play the game or experience or strategize around some enemies. And also, you know, parts of the level design. So, you know, if that's important too, and I think that it's still possible for desaturated games to have variety, but it's just it's more of a challenge because you have to get all of that through game design, and so the controls and everything with the enemy abilities and the variety of enemy abilities has to be really tight. So it's kind of like, you know, a Dark Souls type of game. Maybe those are still pretty good despite being desaturated. So, I mean, these aren't like universal things. But what about you? You know, like what makes you want to keep playing a game? And what is it that when you start playing a game and it doesn't have that, it makes you just kind of go, and maybe you didn't even think about it, but on reflecting, maybe you have some thoughts or just examples of games that you didn't get into, and we could discuss that. If you have any thoughts, leave them in the comments, and we'll go over those, any comments that we get, and discussions that arise in our Tuesday videos. So, sorry this is a little late, but thanks for joining me, and thanks for watching.